So I want to show you how the cluster works. So I talked about an option other than doing an outline. Like I said, outlines never really worked for me. And so once I learned how to do this cluster, also been referred to as webs, I think as well, and a couple other names I've heard of in the past too. I wanted to then offer, once I knew this option, I wanted to offer this to students too. For me, the cluster works better. I'm more of a creative mind person, and my thoughts are kind of all over the place, and they kind of appear in bubbles like this, and then they just kind of make sense to me. So, if you have never tried the cluster, I would try it at least one time and then see how it works for you. So, I'm going to kind of talk about how you set it up, and then I'm going to walk you through the example here for the personal essay, giving you an actual personal story that I'm going to share with you that happened to me and show how it works with this whole cluster. So the cluster starts by putting a circle in the middle. The circle in the middle then is your main idea. Then it branches off into three other parts, or your three main ideas that you're going to focus on. So here's the first, the second, and the third. So then those are three other bubbles. Then from each of those three bubbles, it can branch off for as many things as you need to say. So this is one of the ideas, and then here's three things that I have to say within that idea. Okay. Then moving to the second bubble, and here's two things that I have to say. And then for this one, I have two things to say that branch off. So you branch it off as many times as you feel that you need to. And then for the last part, then it branches off into three things that I need to talk about. Okay. So in this particular situation then, or this essay, the personal essay, we're setting up the situation. So this is the introduction. Then we move to the conflict. So this is our first paragraph, body paragraph. Then we move to the struggle, the second body paragraph, and then to the third body paragraph being the outcome. The meaning again then is that conclusion at the very end. Okay, so what we got from all of this. So like I said, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story, and then as you are listening to my story, this personal experience that I actually had, you will see how I move from one thing to the other, okay? Now, one thing to think about with the cluster is it's just between 1 to 4 words or 5 words, whatever kind of fits in there, but just quick words that make sense to you to make sure that you're moving on to the next point. So as you'll see, I've got just a little quick thing here, then mention one thing here, a couple little things that branch off. They're just quick words that are going to remind me what I need to tell next in the story. All right, so setting up the story, setting up the situation. This was when I was in middle school and I got a perm. So if you're unfamiliar what a perm is, it's basically permanently curling your hair or putting curls in your hair. I promise you, it may not be popular now, but it was when I got this done. But setting up the situation, this is middle school in which this happened. We all know middle school, remember it, I'm sure, well, maybe not good or bad experiences, but it is a time of that awkwardness where we're all struggling to figure out who the heck we are, and we're dealing with different parts of our bodies that are changing and things that are going on, and we're not so nice to each other. So kind of keeping that in mind, setting up that situation. So on one particular Sunday evening, and I stress Sunday evening, I decided that I wanted to have my hair cut, and then I wanted to get a perm. So my parents didn't have a lot of money, and so what worked best for them was to have my mother do it for me. My mother was not a hairstylist or a beautician by any means. She had no expertise in that area whatsoever. But I decided that I wanted to kind of cut my hair a little bit shorter, and then from there, and then layered, and then from there, do the perm. So my mom went ahead and purchased the perm, which comes in a box, like if you were to buy like a box of color to color your hair. That's basically what it came in. So it was like that. You went to the store, you picked out your box, and then you came home and did it. So for whatever reason, I don't know what that reason was. Maybe my parents didn't have a lot of money, maybe it was on sale or something. But my mom had done this many times for me in the past, but this time she used a different brand than normal. So we went ahead, cut my hair, got it all ready, and then she did the perm. And then when we pulled out all the curlers, then I ended up with a bad perm. So here's where we're at. She used a new perm solution. I don't know why. The perm then turned bad because I actually had an afro, like full blown afro, like hair standing up. Okay. Now, just to kind of give you a little bit more information there, this was in the 80s. And so you couldn't do a lot to fix that back then because we didn't have a lot of the good products that are available to us today. But there was nothing that I could do, nothing that I could put in it to make it go down or look any different. It was a full blown afro, absolutely ridiculous. And it couldn't be fixed. So, what we did find out is that we could purchase another solution to relax the curls and make it look like a normal curl. However, the box that we purchased for that basically told us that we couldn't do it within 24 hours of doing the perm, otherwise, my hair could fall out. So clearly, I didn't want my hair to fall out, so we had to wait at least 24 hours to do that. Now, remember, I said this was a Sunday. So, Monday is school. Well, had to go to school with that perm. No matter what I did, I asked my mom, I begged her, cried, pleaded, please don't make me go to school this way. Everyone's going to make fun of me. Can I stay home? Nope, wasn't going to let me stay home. So, Monday morning, here I go to school with this perm that looked like an afro. So, wasn't able to stay home. Everyone. So here, eighth grade, this is where you're changing classes every period. So everyone in every class that I went into asked me what happened. I had people laughing at me, teasing me. The boys, were kind of mean, but honestly, it's the girls that get pretty nasty. I still don't understand why girls are so nasty to one another, but that's where a lot of my rude snide comments came into play. But I made it through the day. It was definitely a struggle to get through that day. I didn't cry or anything. I just explained my story. And like I said, people laughed and teased me and whatnot. So then I was able to get home. And then that night, my mom had picked up that kit that would straighten out my hair, relax it. So then I was able to get it straightened. It worked, and then it looked like an actual regular perm, or I guess as close as it can get to looking like a regular perm. At least it was manageable, and I was able to work with it. So here you see that we have moved from setting up the situation to the conflict to the struggle and to the outcome. Just quick little blurbs that got us there. And then overall, that conclusion, the meaning that I can draw from all of this. I remember being a personal experience, so what can you take away from this? And then what could someone else take away? The life lessons that I learned. So, in middle school, I will probably say this was the very worst thing that happened to me. I don't think anything worse at this point had happened. So I was traumatized and felt like my mom was the worst mother in the world. How could she dare make me go to school like this? How awful. Well, I can tell you now, this is by far one of the least embarrassing things that's ever happened to me. I have had so many other traumatizing things that don't even compare to this. So the life lesson that I think I could give to someone was that at the time I thought my mom was mean and I thought that she was the worst mom in the world and how could you dare do this to me? But what I think she was trying to teach me was that when you have a problem, you have to take it head on. You can't just hope that it'll go away and watch, just walk away or hide. You have to face it up front. And it makes you a better person, and it makes you realize that you're stronger and that you can get through any kind of situation. And I'm sure there's other things or other meanings that I could probably connect to it, life lessons. But that's basically what I would say would be the biggest connection. So there's how you do the cluster. Like I said, at least try it for the first time. If you don't like it and never want to use it again, that's absolutely fine. But I think that a lot of you will find that you like it a lot better than an outline.